I'm so sick and tired about the discourse surrounding Jeremy Corbyn. If you didn't see it yesterday on Politics Live, one of the segments talked about Corbyn being blocked by Starmer to stand as a Labour MP. Of course, all of the usual tropes were trotted out. Corbyn needs to apologise. He didn't accept the EHRC's finding, etc. This was a discussion in which the NEC passed a motion to block Corbyn from standing that had referenced anti-Semitism a total of 0 times. The reason he's being blocked is because he lost the last election. That didn't matter though to the panellists, although there was one person who was actually living on planet Earth who defended Corbyn. That was Ash Sarkar. Just really think about this for a second. We have a media ecosystem that has historically and to this day is and was terrible on racism. Just think of the right-wing press and their vile dog whistles, yet are somehow the moral compass when it comes to Corbyn. Now, the BBC panel yesterday proved this to be the case. We had Ash Sarkar rightfully defend Jeremy Corbyn, but it was only her. Most of the panellists were lying on national TV about him. He never apologised. He did, multiple times. He won't accept the findings. He did, literally, on his first statement. The EHRC found that Labour was institutionally anti-Semitic. It didn't say that. The statement didn't implicate Corbyn at all. This is a gross lie. Ash was the only person of colour on the panel who wanted to talk about the hierarchy of racism, that anti-black and anti-brown racism isn't taken seriously. She was constantly interrupted. Remember when former Labour MP Angela Smith live on TV described brown people as a funny tinge? Well, Ash, who was also on the same show, brought up this moment yesterday and questioned why Smith was allowed back into the party. You'll never believe it, but Siobhan McDonough, the Labour MP on the panel, responded by saying, well, she apologised. Sorry? Sorry? That's all right then. Smith makes a racist slur live on TV and is allowed back into the party. Where is the same level of scrutiny, or why wasn't Corbyn given the same benefit of the doubt? The difference between Corbyn and Smith is that Corbyn has never said anything anti-Semitic, used any slurs, or any kind of dog whistles or tropes. The one example people use is the mural. Yes, Corbyn absolutely showed a blind spot there, something that is a legit criticism of him. But the response to the one sole incident in his entire political career is to kick him out of a party after decades of service and to have his name continually dragged to this day. There are now tweets circling Twitter about how Ash Sarkar apparently said anti-Semitism doesn't matter. This is not what she said, yet there are those who are twisting her words and clipping the video to make it look like that she had. This is the clip being shared.
That was contentious. Oh God, this is so boring and doesn't impact people.
Yeah, but it does matter. Oh, sorry, anti-Semitism is boring.
Now this is the full clip with the entire context.
Element of the report didn't he accept?
He did not accept the point where he found that because the institutional racism point, the Equality and Human Rights Commission
He talked
came
about
out.
how saddened he was by the findings. He didn't disregard the report. The bit that was contentious, oh God, this is so boring and doesn't impact people's
Yeah, but it
lives
does
in the real
matter.
world.
Oh, sorry, anti-Semitism is boring.
No.
I'm
talking about haggling over words. I'm talking about haggling over the precise words, the words that he used,
Because
which
why
caused the
couldn't he
problem.
just apologise?
Wait, I'm just explaining what he said.
This is another in a series of examples in which political opponents have twisted, smeared, and outright lied in order to make a point. If you have to go to that much effort to make a point, rather than its own merits, it says more about them. Those who are engaging in these smears are not interested in anti-racism. The media are not interested in anti-racism. Westminster are not interested in anti-racism. Yet for one man, for all his faults, has consistently stood up against racism his whole life, yet has been completely monstered by the political class. Why do you keep banging on about Corbyn? It's a good question, and I really want nothing more than to stop talking about Corbyn. I wished we stopped talking about him years ago, but we can't. Why? Because first and foremost, truth. I can't stand by and allow lies and smears to rule the day, especially from those who pretend to care but don't. When this channel started 2 years ago, the first video was made in my old flat on an iPhone, talked about this very issue. I didn't imagine that 2 years later I would be talking about the very same thing. I want to talk about policies, political ideas that can better our country. I want the same for the left. Obviously not every video on this channel is about Corbyn. Some videos which you can check out that talk about political ideas. But Corbyn shouldn't really be on anyone's lips years after stepping down as leader. But it's also because it's bigger than Corbyn. He is a proxy for those who want to attack the left as a whole. The whole of the left is implicated in anti-Semitism because of lies. I think this whole circus surrounding Corbyn and the anti-Semitism crisis is ludicrous. More Jewish people have been expelled or suspended under Keir Starmer, yet we hear absolutely nothing about that. Jeremy Corbyn is far from perfect. I don't agree with all of his views, but I'll be damned if I'm lectured by the same political class who have supported wars that have killed millions in predominantly brown nations, who have a consensus on racist state policies, on racist policing, yet it's in fact Jeremy Corbyn who is morally repugnant. Shame on all of those who have contributed to this. Rather than engage in political debates and differences in the politics and policies of Corbyn, instead, the go-to response is to lie, smear, and attack for political gain. It's a sick joke, and no one is laughing.